Dreaming dreams we all do, working hard so they come true. You can get a helping hand. So I've been working on this Kmart video for a few months now. I am just showing you a screen thing here on a screen record of an article that was published in my hometown, Valentine, PA, about Kmart and how they saw that it was going to shut its doors, and I have showed this here where I scrolled through, so you can go ahead and read it. I will post the original article in the description box. If you would like to read it, you can. If you'd like to see it, the original article, whatever. I just found a little interesting in parts here, and I even scrolled to the bottom where you can read the comments, and they're interesting as well. So, also I'd like to give a shout out to the company man. He had inspired me to do my own Kmart video to this little thing you're watching now, so I am including the link to his profile also in the description box so you can watch that video as well. Next, I would like to show you an old commercial so you can see how popular Kmart was back in the 90s in its glory days. As the company man, if you watch his video, you'll see how he mentions their popularity in the 90s as well.
There's a new old friend in the same old place, with a brand new name and a brand new face, changing for the better, keeping the pace with the way you live today.
Now Kmart is Big Kmart.
It's a whole new fashion, a whole new style. It's all new faces that make you smile.
It's the brands you love. Martha Stewart every day. Sesame Street for kids. Kathy Ireland and Jacqueline Smith fashions. Penske Auto Center, and a whole new way to love them.
Discover the difference at Big Kmart. There's a better
Will there be anything
way to
else,
save
sir?
today.
Big Kmart. This is big.
Discover the difference at Big Kmart. There's a better way to save today.
So here I am when I first started doing this video where you would approach my local Kmart. This Kmart is about 5 to 10 minutes away from my house. So yeah, I would visit it pretty much whenever I needed to visit a Kmart. Kmart was never my original first go-to when it came to things. But you can see the store. And you see how I'm driving up to it, and this parking lot was pretty full. A lot of times this particular Kmart was always on a bus route, so I'm curious as to where the bus route will reroute now. So here I am walking through. This is how these videos are gonna go. This is why this video is so long. Is what I did was, as soon as I approached the store, inside of the store, I would head to the left, and I would walk this maze around the store. Sometimes I'd cut into an aisle here or there, because this is the pharmacy here. I seem to be liking the ceiling. A lot of these places of business, they do not like you to openly record or take pictures, and I know one job I had, we used to take pictures. It was for special needs, taking care of special needs kids, and they particularly did not like us to take pictures in store, and sometimes the kid would be doing something we'd want to share with the parents. So I tried to sneak the camera, so to speak. This is the Christmas decor. This was the beginning of December of 2018. So as you could see, a lot of the Kmart prices were not that great to begin with. let alone to show um, excitement. It wasn't like people would anymore rush into a Kmart as their first choice to buy something. But they did have, at this point, they did have pretty much stuff in the store. My route in the last couple of weeks, as the store closed yesterday, was not easily accessed. So you'll see how it changes over the time. Like I said, I wanted to do the same route pretty much as time went on, but I couldn't. So here the store is pretty much full. I was actually quite shocked that the store was this full at this point. They did have some like 40% off signs here and there, and 30% off. But they're really, I mean, they had some summer stuff. They must have just literally pulled everything from their back room and put it out onto the shelves, because they had bikinis and t-shirts and shorts and things that said like the 4th of July on it and things like that lay away here to the left. I'd actually put my daughter's layaway a couple Christmases ago, I think, at this particular Kmart. But so that's what I literally think they did. But a lot of the prices at this point were still 40 and 30% off. And you could see them, you know, they had some appliances, which is tempting, but I had checked the appliances and they were still like almost $1,000. I was like, no, not worth it. But too bad. Nothing hold back. Then actually at this store, every time I walked in, I'd find something to buy. But the first time I went in, I actually with the intent of Christmas shopping. So I went in and I did some Christmas shopping for some of my family members, my daughter, my husband, a Christmas party I was attending that weekend. So yeah, the store is pretty full. You can see, like, they're advertising 75% off, but like I stated, that was to do with more of the summer attire, because this was in the winter or fall at the time, so nobody was really there to shop for shorts. It's kind of sad to see these businesses close, personally. Some people think Kmart was depressing. This particular Kmart as well, I had some connections to it in middle school. One of my best friend's mom worked there, and we used to go see her sometimes, like walk home from school and go see her if we got out early from snow or something. So you just saw tank tops. Everything was just kind of blended in together. As the guy I mentioned, the company man, he stated was that Kmart's prices were never that low, but their competitions always seem to be like Walmart's and the Targets, and they prices are too high for that type of thing. And so they kind of put racks everywhere. There were racks just all over the store at this point. So we're walking through here, and there's a sign I caught a picture of. I don't know if I got a video of it, but the sign to the left here, it says, "Thank you for shopping at your Allentown Kmart." There it is. I thought it was kind of a eerie omen to what was to be expected.
Gloria line two, thank you. Yes.
Okay, here we are on a couple weeks later walking into Kmart here. The first clip I had made by myself, I was alone, I was by myself. I like to try to be alone on some of these videos, but this particular time it was a Sunday after church, and I came with my mom and my daughter, and you might hear some conversation in the background. I thought it sounded a little eerie if I cut the sound completely out of the video, but I turned it down very low so it wouldn't overbear whatever she's trying to explain. So here we are. It is the first video, I believe, was December 4th. This one's December 16th. And one thing I had noticed was the shelves were still pretty full, but the prices of some of the stuff had fluctuated a little bit. Like the Christmas stuff was originally 30% off, now it was 50% off. So it didn't seem at first like they were making these great strides as to draw people in to liquidate this store. I always thought liquidation meant that you came into the store and you got rid of your assets as quickly as you could. I don't know exactly, maybe they were making more dollars or whatever, but I wouldn't say at this point that they had absolutely nothing. They had some pretty much stuff. It just looked like they had a really big sale, and that they had holes in our merchandise. As you could see, I walked towards here. This is where the Christmas trees were. There were still Christmas trees. The garden center was back there in the corner. There's nothing really fancy or going on. I think my mom makes a comment here about sandbox when she was a kid, whatever. But here we are. We're going, around the corner to the I showed the garden center, the automotive. You could see the difference is they're starting to liquidate fast. They're starting to get their merchandise is starting to, it's not going fast, I'm sorry, that sounds contradictory, but it's starting to get holes in here. I remember a couple weeks I had went in there because I needed cat food, and I was hoping to find some cat food, and they didn't have any, so some of the key stuff that you would have looked for was gone, but not a whole lot. There were some people in the store, pretty many people in the store actually, but you'll see the crowds start coming as the video progresses, which is pretty sad if you want to think about it. I'm walking here and something caught my eye, so the video cuts out and there's another clip that will be coming behind it. I don't know what we're looking at or trying to look at. My daughter's standing in the way. But we were looking at appliances or something. I think I might have made a comment to my mom about replacing one of the fridges at our house that, we could have used the fridge, but it was still kind of pricey, tongue-tied. So I'm getting to the end of this clip here. I remember something caught my eye and I had turned it off and I walked over to go look at it. This video gets more interesting as the weeks progress. Right now it just kind of looks like I'm being a stalker. I'm surprised those balloons held up all that time. Unless they just kept replacing the balloons. Balloons on the right back there. I noticed there were balloons that said sale, but there was really nothing that they were selling yesterday when I was in there for my final shot. But they still got pretty much stuff going on here all over the place. Book bags, different types of things. And the video will transition. There it is. Did it transition? No, it didn't. Oh wow, made a liar out of me. I might have just cut the video altogether. So this is another day, the last 10 days. This day particular, I had come with my husband and my daughter. And this particular time, it was a couple weeks after even that. It might have been the day before Christmas Eve, I believe, like a Saturday night or something. My husband went one way and I went the other to go get my footage to walk around the circle here. Again, I'm trying to do the same path, stay to the left. I will have to pause my talking here for a minute, so I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. So here we are. We're walking to the left, and you start to see the card aisle here in the back. There was some vacancy here. This was the last 10 days. I was actually quite shocked when I walked in and I saw the last 10 days sign, as I didn't know when the exact date was of liquidating. It just seemed to me like, up to this point, it didn't seem like they had an end date in mind. Like they were just, we're going to liquidate. And whenever the stuff is gone, and that'll be it. So this was down to the last days, and as we were walking in, I had already hit record, and I was recording as I was walking in, and we had run into somebody we knew, so who we ran into probably assumed that we were kind of giving them the gold shoulder, as I was there to specifically try to get this footage. And so here we are back where the Christmas trees were. It's pretty much completely empty, pretty much wiped out. It's pretty sad. Here, all the automotive stuff, that's pretty much gone. Um, the end caps here, I mean, it looks like people just kind of put things there. My mom and I had noticed when we were in the store that time, they had actually turned the heat off. The heat was cold. It was cold outside, and we walked in. It was still kind of chilly on the inside. This is where all the animal stuff was. I had cut into the aisle because I was looking for cat food on this particular day. But there are big, wide, open spaces here. Yay, it's on sale. I thought that sign was pretty funny because everything was on sale. Here's a technology piece. This is probably why Kmart is not doing too hot. The technology was never really upgraded. So, Refresh Your World. They still had drinks when we had last seen this. 40% off nothing. Attention Kmart shoppers. That was a famous thing that was coined back in the 90s. Sorry, I had to pause it for a minute. My throat had a cough. But here we are. Again, we're walking through. I mean, they still have pretty much stuff for the last 10 days, but I was like, I guess I gotta make a point to get in here even more. Somebody had made a comment to me that if all these people would have been at Kmart before any of this had happened, this wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have had the need to have had this happened. And for whatever reason it happened, I don't know. I was tempted to buy that kiddie pool. I kind of needed a kiddie pool for something. See, the balloons are staying floating. Somebody should rewind this video and see if they were the same balloons, see if they're in the same position or something. Maybe they replaced them, I don't know. But these balloons were up the entire time. And I know when I blow up balloons, they die within days. So here we are down where we were with my mom. There were purses hanging on the right here, and you can see it's pretty much open. There are not many things hanging at all. There's odds and ends, but that's about it. So here I kind of tried to look down the aisle a little bit. These things must have had socks on them or something. Now, as you could see in the first part of the video, there were all these racks everywhere in the middle of the aisles, and here there's like really not in the middle. The clothing down on the back wall there is completely gone. It's funny, I drove by this Kmart today. I was meeting a friend for something, and I drove by and I still got their signage, had the lights on. I was tempted to drive up to it and try to take a peek inside the door, but I'm kind of afraid that somebody was actually in it because I saw lights on. Maybe I will in a couple of days drive down and get a creeper shot through the door or something. So here we are. The kids' clothes, they're like completely like Faith had made, my daughter had made this comment that you could do a cartwheel in the middle of the store yesterday because it was so empty. We'll see that in a minute. So we have some, he starts seeing mannequins, which I thought was weird, these mannequins. So clothes, as you see that the aisles are open again. There's nothing in the middle. The shoes were 70% off. I don't know what they were before, because I had looked down in the shoes and I didn't see anything I wanted, so I kept it moving. Booyah! That shirt said booyah. So I'm coming to the end of this video. And stuff. So yeah. Pretty much the end here. Nothing more to report on. What is this? Walking down the aisle here. Christmas bows are 70% off. That I keep seeing going up. Thanksgiving. Oh, okay. So this is when I walked in. I don't know why it did that. So this was the last 3 days. This was last Friday. I get it now. I was so confused because it was completely different from what it was. So here I am walking, and you can see they started to tape off the aisles. Kind of like a crime scene type thing. All these aisles were taped off. At this point, I could almost do my route. There were, because of them taping things off, I couldn't always. See, they had just filled this space with with all their fixtures that they were selling. So this was the area down by where the Christmas trees were the first week. And layaways back there. The racks are completely empty. There's no food left. The aisles are like completely gone. Everything was pretty much, they had taken the signs off the roof too. I noticed the ones that said like closing, everything must go. Took those down. There's balloons again by the jewelry. The appliances were completely gone. I wondered what the cinder brick pallet was. Pool was still there. The mattresses were gone. The clothing racks in the middle of the store were gone. It was just getting surreal at this point. This is kind of what I expected the store to be like when I first walked in, and it wasn't. Well, they had announced in October that they were going to close. And then I started doing this in December. So it was like about a month. I was actually away when I first heard. I was in Arizona. But yeah, here they have it taped off. So I couldn't go down and see my layaway, not layaway, the changing room. The shoes were completely gone. Men's clothing was thinning out. Like yesterday when I was there, that's pretty much all they had were men's clothing. And they were big men's clothing, like size 50 waist. Okay, there I found an opening and I took it down to where the fitting room was, past where, this is where all the men's clothing was. Here, all the jeans and the graphic tees and the dress shirts. And then this is where the kids, the boys and the young girls, and then they had juniors and stuff. So it was pretty funny because when I went in there, I found a vest hanging on a hanger. This was when I was in there with my husband. And I didn't see a price tag on it. But I needed a vest because I cater on the weekends sometimes. And part of the dress is we needed vest. So I went into the Kmart, and the guy was like, well, it's probably part of a set. I said, it was just hanging on a hanger. So he looked at me and says, well, what do you want to pay for it? And I kind of chuckled, thought he was kidding. I was like, I don't know. My husband said $1. So he literally charged me $1 for this vest. I should have told him 50 cents. But heck, that was like a pretty cool deal. I don't know what they were to. I did see a couple shirts that they were selling that had vests with them. Somebody's finger got in the way. See, things are 75% off. Things are getting up there because they only had a couple more days left. This was last Friday, so, and they were closed on a Sunday. So the Booyah shirt is still there. I don't know, is it still there on Sunday? I don't know. So yeah, it's pretty surreal. They got the water bottles up there. They seem to be bringing everything to the front of the store. People are probably walking off with merchandise and sticking them things. So here we are, the last day. I want to do my go around the store, but they taped it off. Oh man. So I couldn't. You see, it says last one day. They had some stuff, but I couldn't get that much footage. I got what I could. This is where my daughter was like, you could do cartwheels. Those balloons. See what I mean by those balloons? So here we are, and this is where they had all the men's clothing in the other video. It's pretty much fixtures. They still have pretty many fixtures. Maybe they're open for fixtures. I think Bonton did that when they closed. They had certain days that they were open just for fixtures. They did have signs on the door, but like I said, I didn't drive down there because I didn't want to look suspicious. So yeah, this seems to be the end of my video. So thanks guys, this is my first big video on the failed retail series, and I hope to watch and grow from this video. Please leave your comments in the video. If you enjoyed this, share it, like it, subscribe, all that good stuff. Give me some love and encourage me what you guys would like to see. Thank you and God bless. Bye bye.